The threat is real and you're only safe as long as you're quiet. Monsters are lurking around and waiting just outside, and any noise above a whisper will invite them in to feed on your flesh. This is the story about one man, his family, and how they try to survive day to day. So, does A Quiet Place deliver on the monster movie madness hinted at in the trailers, or will the silence put us to sleep? Let's talk about it in this review. John Krasinski is back in the director's chair for a third time, where he looks at stories that are about people, actual individuals. There are monsters in this movie, that's very true. However, the monsters are brilliantly used to highlight the individual struggle and, as the story progresses, the true nature of each character in the film, allowing us to get to know who these people are as the tension keeps rising. I was not expecting a film that really explores the family dynamic, the love of parents, regrets that kids can keep when they think that they've done something wrong, only to find out the true spirit and love of a father and mother. There's so much great quality relationship material in this film, it completely won me over. I was hooked into this film from the very beginning. So yes, again, there are monsters, but the monsters are used so well to showcase the individuals, the people in this film, so we care about them and we understand what's at risk if they deviate from what has been keeping them safe for so long. This story primarily takes place on a farm in a small town. Now, we do get to see the small town at the very beginning of the film, so we understand kind of what the area looks like. There's also a bit with the waterfall where we see them fishing and trying to hunt for food to stay alive. So it does a nice job kind of painting out the picture of what this world is that they inhabit. Also, what is the threat that's always looming in the forest and outside of the farm. This film does a few things pretty well. One of those things is setting up at the very beginning of the movie, what are the stakes? What are the consequences? If a sound is made, what will happen? Where are these monsters coming from? What do these monsters look like? What's at risk? At the very beginning of the film, we find that out. And unfortunately, it is in the trailers. So if you've seen the trailers for this film, what happens at the beginning of the film won't surprise you. It does kind of pull you out, but that's okay because there's so much more still to come in the movie that is absolutely not in the trailers. And even though, again, the trailers did show a little bit of the beginning, I'm still completely sucked into this movie right from the very beginning. Another thing the film does really well is pacing. This plot moves along and does not waste any time. The story has a runtime of about 90 minutes, and it honestly does not even feel like an hour and a half long. Big shout out to John Krasinski as a director for his ability in this film to really create tension on the big screen, let it resolve, create greater tension, let it resolve. And just doing this consistently with the pacing so that it never really feels like we're kind of start and stop. It's very even and literally edge of the seat the entire time. The pacing of this film, again, just spectacular, and all of the threats in this film, all of those moments, and then the release, and then those moments, they all felt appropriate for the story of the world that we're living in. Imagine living in a world where alien monsters are hunting you, and if you make a sound, they pounce. Now imagine that you have a wife who is pregnant and about to give birth, and the noise levels that can come from that. Also imagine that you have a daughter who's deaf, so she can't hear anything, including the threats when they happen. All of the moments felt appropriate, all of the moments felt believable in a world where alien monsters have landed and are hunting. However, if you blink, if you get up to run to the bathroom, or if you get up to run and get a refill of whatever you're drinking during the movie, maybe refill your popcorn, you may miss one key element that details how the threat came to be on the planet. So I am going to recommend that you do not get up and leave at all during this film because, again, it's only 90 minutes and it moves very quick. So you want to be in the theater for the entire time. However, I do understand people do need to leave. So without spoiling anything, I will say that in the background, there is a newspaper article detailing a meteor crash, and that is how these alien monsters came to the planet. But again, if you blink, you'll miss it. So you have been warned. And finally, again, without giving any spoilers away, by the end of the film, we find out that his daughter's deafness wasn't just something that they added to the story to create a different level of tension. It actually plays a very important role going through the film. Going back to Krasinski's style of movies that deal with individuals, we find out by the end of the film, no spoilers, that a father's love for his daughter does help save the day. A Quiet Place is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am definitely recommending a big screen viewing of this film. This is an enjoyable, edge-of-your-seat monster movie that looks at the life of one family and how each of them as individuals are trying to survive. Also, pay close attention to the lighting and the sound in this movie because they are very, very important elements to the way this story is told. The sound design was paramount to the success of this film, considering that you can't make a noise louder than a whisper. So get ready for these incredibly silent moments that really help drive the tension, and also the lighting on how they use the color red to really help elevate the tension as well. Again, just overall, the story, the characters, the way the film looks, and the sound design all were done so very well. And because of that, it's getting both high fives from this guy. A Quiet Place is playing at your local movie theater right now. Check it out.